Well, a very good morning to you from wherever you're watching us. This is Herman Manyora's YouTube channel, and welcome here to another interesting episode of the Candid Talk. As usual, my name is Evans Okinyi. And of course, joining me to help demystify and understand the intrigues of Kenyan politics is none other than Professor Herman Manyora himself. Prof, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Evans.
How are you on a lovely
Evans
Friday morning?
Okinyi.
Evans Okinyi, that is.
Yeah, Okinyi. Yes. Not Okinyi.
Yes, Prof.
Yes.
Okinyi.
Yes.
This name, I hear a number of people giving comments outside there, but then it is Okinyi. Now, Prof, I asked you what's the fate of these governors who've been elected, but the majority, they lack that kind of majority support among the MCAS and members of the House. And a case, an example that we gave out was Kawira Mwangaza. Of course, you know very well that she won as an independent candidate, and definitely she does not have any MCA in that house who is affiliated to her. She made a number of steps, went ahead to associate herself with William Ruto government and played her support behind Ruto, ostensibly perhaps to who the MCAs to perhaps support her. But then we've seen a number of things already falling apart, and the MCAs walked out on her when she went there to give her maiden address to the House. Prof, let's begin from here. In the first place, do you think that the MCAs of Meru County are justified to walk out on the governor?
You know, all these forms of actions are legal and sanctioned by the Constitution. You can walk out, you can protest, you can do all manner of things, so long as you don't become violent. Yeah, you don't become violent, you don't destroy property, you can express your feelings in any other way, in any way you deem fit. Walking out is very legitimate.
Yeah, but then it was kind of a little bit shameful because she was in there, a whole governor coming there to talk to the MCAs, and as soon as she raised her voice, everybody was like, we're leaving. Now, I was trying to gauge what is it that is actually happening here, and she's been accused of a number of things. The MCAs are saying that, one, she does not want to include them. She doesn't want to give them some sort of a listening ear. On the other hand, she says that these MCAs have got demands that cannot be met. I mean, don't you see this kind of confusion being an hindrance to devolution and governance, particularly in this county?
You know, when you stand as an independent governor, you must be very careful. You must know you'll meet all manner of things. You have to be prepared for them. If you are not prepared, that's your problem. Yeah. You stand to be a governor independent. There's one in Taita Taveta, I think, Madime, and then her. You have to be prepared. But you won't be the first. I've seen in my county, our first governor, he had just about 2 or 3 MCAs, and he survived. He finished his term. There wasn't even an attempt at impeachment. Yeah. Sakaja in Nairobi doesn't have the numbers. I think he's outnumbered by the Azimio.
By the Azimio, of course.
But he must be prepared, and he may navigate through. So it's a question of being prepared. Yeah.
Now, one of the things that the MCAs are lamenting about is her case of actually appointing the husband, of course, to the position in which actually she gave her, is now part of that kind of executive pact of hers, and they are like, this is outright nepotism. Like, is there anybody else? Isn't there any other Meru, any other capable person in the county who could be appointed to that position? And so,
but what Mwangaza is doing is what every Kenyan is doing. Your leaders are always appointing their children, their sisters, and their brothers, and their girlfriends. So she's doing nothing. Mwangaza is just doing what everybody does. Yeah.
Now, the MCAs are saying that if at all, yes, he brings she brings her husband on board, and when the MCAs now want to bring in every other person who is perhaps close to the family, then they're accused of practicing nepotism.
That's why I'm saying she has to be tactful, because she is an independent candidate. She was an independent candidate. She doesn't have MCS. She must have known what she was walking into. You minimize those things that create friction, like putting your husband unnecessarily into the picture. You know, that will disappoint people. That will irritate people. People will react to that. wacha mzee akae nyumbani as first husband or first man.
Because the first
Pelekee
man,
pesa mingi ya kule. Yeah. Yeah.
but she defended herself, saying that the husband is not being paid for whichever role.
No,
he's been
perception.
appointed
She
with.
must be trained. Let her call me a trainer. Public life is more about perception than reality. Yeah.
So of course it was a wrong move for her
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make that kind
But
of appointment.
even governors, male governors, they don't necessarily shove their wives into people's faces. Yeah. You can very easily irritate people. Yeah. Even presidents minimize the roles their wives play. So if as counties are small places, like a village, you give your husband and you are the governor a lot of prominence, you can irritate people. Yeah.
Now, with this kind of wars already, we're witnessing what is taking place in Meru and all these problems now bedeviling Kawira Mwangaza. Do you think she's going to make it in this kind of era and with that kind of opposition already we're seeing there? Could the MCAs,
Yes.
could the MCAs perhaps, some people are reading some sort of her being impeached or anything of the sort?
It's possible she can be impeached, but you see again, there are laws governing impeachment. You don't just impeach somebody because she doesn't look beautiful or she looks ugly or she looks too beautiful. There must be reasons why you're impeaching her. And you as a county assembly can impeach her, but the trial and the Senate can find her innocent. So you have to make sure you have a strong case.
Do you believe in the trials at the Senate?
A Senate is a political place.
So if
the trial is political.
if at all the Senate is as political as you say,
Yes.
when it comes to matters of trying perhaps the impeached governors, then if Kawira's case is anything to go by, because I understand our problems are coming from major political heavyweights and opponents in the county, the likes of Kiraitu Murungi, all those people whom he actually flawed down there during the last general election. So if at all these people have an influence or perhaps an upper hand in making sure that she's pulled out of that position, will they succeed in doing that?
Yeah, if she has joined the Kenya Kwanza battalion, and they are very happy because they are looking for numbers, both in the National Assembly, Senate, and now with the governor counties. So they could protect her.
Sure.
Yeah, if they chose to protect her, no impeachment can succeed.
She's joined, yes, she joined Kenya Kwanza, but as well, Kiraitu Murungi also joined there.
No, but how what is Kiraitu Murungi taking there? She's taking the number. They are counting counties. We have how many governors? Kiraitu Murungi is not a governor. She is a governor.
She's the governor, yes.
Yeah. So
and that is why that's
one governor, two governor, 24 we are ahead of Azimio.
And that is why I'm trying to look at the impact of the MCAs staging some sort of a rebellion against her.
They can succeed at the county level. But for impeachment to mean anything, the trial and the Senate must go through. Now, if Kenya Kwanza has more senators in the Senate than Azimio, certainly she will be saved by Senate. And she won't be the first one to be saved.
No, but and what would make, I mean, she's not, in as much as she's affiliated, okay, she actually pledged her kind of allegiance to the Kenya Kwanza government, but she's not a UDA governor. Could they perhaps seal this position and say, okay, well, and good.
Let her go, we take it.
Yeah, let her go, we take it. Could they
But it will
perhaps
go to the
that way?
deputy governor, who is still independent. Yeah.
So still,
Yeah.
it,
I don't think
it does not
I don't
merit.
think, and in any case, these are just reactionary moves, because for you to have something against the governor, she must have served some time, some time,
Yeah,
So you are looking at things, omissions and commissions, in the process of working. She hasn't worked, so what will you find against her? Her hairstyle?
and that's what I was actually wondering. What is it? What is it with our fellow countrymen from Meru County?
So, both MCAs and the governor will need to do things a little better than they are doing them. The MCAs already, even Senate is beginning to form its mind that if this thing were to come to us, it will be a useless thing. Because you're already harassing a governor who has not started working. So what are you basing your harassment on? So even when finally you have something and you are taking it to Senate, the impression you have created is that you are just busybodies. And on the part of the governor, knowing very well you do not have MCAs, there are certain things you shouldn't do. If you're walking around with your husband hand in hand, embracing is annoying people, just let him walk ahead of you. Ama akae nyuma, governor. Ama akae nyumbani, better stay. Yeah, what is that?
Better still, he would have stayed at home.
Yes, stay at home, take care of the children. Yeah.
And I heard those MCAs actually talking and lamenting, and they are saying that, come on, you're not the only female governor in the entire country.
Yes.
We have a number of them. They are not behaving in the manner in which you're actually conducting
But
yourself.
Mwangaza could just be a modern person, a modern woman who modern people walk with their spouses hand in hand, kissing in public. Yeah, modern. Maybe these others are still villagers. Yeah.
Sure.
So you are blaming Mwangaza for being a modern woman?
Who wants to walk with the
or
husband
maybe she's a
throughout.
village woman trying to look modern. But the bottom line is, she has to know that you have to navigate this thing carefully. You don't have MCS. Even if they don't impeach you, they can just give you hell. The MCS can be very stubborn. They mess your budget, they don't pass your budget, they do this. Next time they are doing the other. You take people for approval, CECs, they reject your list. They out of 10, they give you 4, 6. They can delay your work. It doesn't mean it doesn't have to be impeachment. MCS can make your work as governor very difficult. Yeah, and those are some of the things we need to look at as we look at our constitution.
So what is it that we can do as a country in order to avoid some of these problems that will actually emanate as a result of such kind of
Some of these things are necessary in terms of when you are growing, when you are evolving, when a system is evolving. Some of these things are inevitable. They happen. You can't legislate on everything. This is conduct. You can't very easily legislate on human conduct. But we might, it all goes down to the sort of MCS we elect. If you elect serious MCS, they will engage less in this kind of shenanigans. Yeah.
So the kind of people,
MCS,
the kind of
to
MCS
me, it's not
will be-
law. Legislation cannot help. People, we have now agreed that degree is not necessary. So it can't be education. It just has to be the people who elect MCS.
Yes, and of course, I would like us to come back here and have a very candid conversation on this issue of degree education, leadership, and governance, and how it affects the entire cycle of.
We will look at it.
We will look at it definitely. But let's wait and see. Now, as we wind up, what would be your advice to the governor and the MCAs?
MCS, I want to advise MCS of Meru. You are already making people see you are crying wolf. So when the wolf will actually appear, nobody will take you serious. So stop the shenanigans. Wait for the governor to work. If you think she's so useless, just give her time. You are going to filter out those things she's doing. And now you present them for an impeachment and then to Senate. And to the governor, you must know you don't have MCS. You must also know kuna fisi wanangoja hiyo kiti yako. Yeah. So you be careful. Yeah, that's all. Just be careful how you work.
Stop the shenanigans. That is the word, the message that Professor Herman Manyora here has to the MCAs of Meru County, as we hope that everything will go on and that they will let the governor partake her duties as she deserves. Well, till we meet next time, I've been your host, Evan Sokinyi, and thank you for watching The Candid Talk. Please do not fail to subscribe to our channel here, and of course at Let's Talk Love Kenya. Thank you.